Use the referral link in the description to g2a.com for all of your Xbox codes, PlayStation codes and video games, and be sure to use the code CHES at checkout to get yourself 3% cash back. Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of Season 3 here on the Career Mode RTG. I can't quite believe we're in Season 3 already, but we are assured this season of playing League One football. We got promoted last year. If you missed the title finale yesterday, I won't spoil any results for you, at least not at this stage. Make sure you go and watch that video first before watching this one so you don't get any spoilers as we progress through. But we'll be looking to improve the team this year. We'll have a quick look at the squad in today's episode and, most importantly, show you how much money we have available to us and what the board want from us this year as well. We have a pre-season tournament. There is about £2.2 million available to be won. Doesn't look like too difficult a group, although we thought that last year and we got grouped. So we'll just have to wait to see what happens. We have the biggest budget we've had so far at the beginning of the year. Last year, we had 2.2, which was about double what we had the year before. And this year, we've almost got double what we had the year before again. So about £4 million, give or take, and £13,000 available in the wage budget. That's enough to do some damage in the transfer window. We do have a couple of players on the transfer list as well. As you can see here, we've Leon Davis at right back, who has a release clause of £115,000. That was unfortunately just the result of me delegating a new contract to him, and then it put a release clause in. So that sucks. But keep that idea in mind because we're actually going to use that to our advantage in a minute. George Taft is hopefully going to leave us as well at centre-back. Jake Carroll will, fingers crossed, do the same from left-back. And then we've got 3 central midfielders, a CDM at centre-mid and a Cam, all hopefully leaving us in this window. Vega because he's old, or too old really to have too much of an impact. We can use the money better elsewhere. Osadebe because he's low rated, and Giovanni Brown purely because he's just been disappointing on the pitch, which is a real shame. But we'll have to wait and see what bids we get in. We are looking to improve the squad quite considerably this season if we can. We've got a number of players that have grown really well though, so we're not going to move any of those on. We have Perella that's still growing really well at centre-back. We've Uno who's grown really well at left mid. Hill has been doing superbly at centre-mid. And then obviously Sabi, once he started scoring, did so quite considerably last season. We are looking to potentially replace Howison at centre-mid, with Vega leaving and Edwards really not yet up to scratch. I could really do with, and none of the other youngsters we have at the club are really up to scratch, and Maris has underperformed as well. I could really do with a new central midfielder to go in there. I keep Howison though as you know, one of my backup players to go along with Maris and Edwards, and obviously Bauman. We have a couple of other youngsters still in the youth squad. David Amu, I would like to replace on the right-hand side in his starting role, but he will remain in the squad for now. And then, obviously, with Jake Carroll and Taft and Davis leaving, I'm going to need defenders as well, both a left-back, probably a right-back, and a centre-back, certainly. We have Bradley Halliday, who's going to continue to be my backup, or one of my backup wing-backs. Then Harrison is going to continue to be one of my backup centre-backs, but I am going to need a centre-back and a wing-back and a right-mid and a centre-mid this season in this window. Now, we can get one of those done immediately and quite cheaply as well. Brooks Lennon is 71 rated, so obviously higher rated than the majority of the rest of our team. He looks like he's got decent stats. He's only 22. He can play anywhere basically on the right hand side and out wide on the left, up top as well. And to be fair, I could play him at left back too. And you can see he's valued at 2.5, but he has a release clause of 1.6. That I am going to activate. We're bringing Brooks Lennon to the club. Now he's on, what was he on a week? 2.5 I think, or 3.9. Okay, 3.9. We're going to negotiate as best we can, and we'll see if we can get him to join for a relatively decent fee. He wants a crucial starting position. I'm going to try and negotiate that because I would still like to start Omar Bogle, he's the striker. Would still like to start Jaden Bogle as my starting right back. But it looks like we're going to have to give him a crucial squad role. That's fine. We can certainly use him on a regular basis. I'll try and get him to sign for as long as I possibly can. And we've been able to do that. That's superb. I wouldn't like a release clause. If we can remove the bonus and then maybe get him to sign something a little bit less than that, if possible. Maybe $4,000 with a £34,000 bonus or signing bonus. That would be great. He's come down a little bit with a bonus, but would still like the wages to be a little bit less. Of course, we are, like I say, looking to improve in a number of positions this season if we can. 4-7, we'll continue to negotiate because, of course, every few £100 will make the difference. And once we've moved everyone on that we want to move on, then we should have a decent amount of people, or decent amount of quality in depth. I am also keeping an eye on Vincent Young to potentially bring him in as a left back. Could do with some training, but at 24, basically he's very, very fast. And 5'11" and with decent strength, he's going to be able to hold his own even in the Championship, let alone League One. So he is a player I would like to sign, but I am going to have to move other players on before we're able to sign anyone or anyone else in any other positions. I don't have anyone in mind currently for the centre mid, for the right mid, or potential centre back options either. That's where you guys come in. That's why I need your help in the comments section leading up to tomorrow's episode, where I will take on board those suggestions and then start looking at people to buy in the month of August. Throughout July, basically, we're going to see how much money we can raise through the pre-season tournament. With regards to this season's objectives from the board, they're very, very happy with us still from last season, obviously, after getting promoted. 91 rated manager rating at present. Youth development, they want 2 youth players to grow by at least 10 points. As soon as they've grown, play them in 10 matches as either starting 11 or coming on as a sub. We can certainly do that. We have a couple of players in our youth squad still that we will be continuing to train, and hopefully we'll continue to grow, and then we'll become involved in our youth team. I'll show you the youth squad in a minute. Brand exposure wise, we've got 3 seasons to increase the season ticket holders by 10% of the stadium's capacity. That should be quite easily done. No financial objectives whatsoever. Obviously no continental, but I'm surprised that there's no financial goals. So that's good. Means we've got less to try and or less on our plate, basically, to try and please the board. However, after getting promotion from League 2 last year, they do want me to gain automatic promotion from League 1 this year as well. They want back-to-back promotions. It will be tough. I have no idea how we're going to get on in League 1, but I'd like to challenge for playoffs. If we can get automatic promotion, great. If not, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And then again, they'd like us to reach the round of 32 of the FA Cup, which we should be able to do. But we'll wait and see. And then in the youth squad, I actually, using what was left of my budget last season, signed a further youth scout. And I actually where shall I send my 2 scouts? Let me know in the comment section where I should send them, and then I will do that next season. I might do a Scout Future Star again, to be completely honest. Elliot Lee is still, basically we've got 2 centre mids, a goalkeeper who we can train and or just let grow, and then last season's Scout Future Star Giovanni Mancini will hopefully continue to grow. So perhaps I won't need a left back. I can just call Mancini up when he turns 16 and he'll be good enough to fill in for Jake Carroll leaving. So maybe we're actually already set with wing backs. I don't need to sign Vincent Young. We're looking for a centre back, a centre mid and a right mid, and then we might be set because hopefully he'll turn 16 soon. What I will do is do my Scout Future Star, which we can do there. Thank you very much. Redeem that. And hopefully we'll get that back by the end of today's episode. If not, at the very beginning of tomorrow's. But fingers crossed we should be able to get it done today. So we'll play through or advance through and simulate through the pre-season tournament. I won't advance too far into August because obviously I want to give enough time for my scouts to go out and learn about the players that you guys tell me to look at on my shortlist. So I'm going to have to be wary that I leave enough time for that. Plus, you don't want to go too far and risk potential or transfer for Taft. That's good news to start things off, and it's above valuation as well. I'm just going to accept that and make sure that he leaves. I don't want to advance so far that some of your suggestions get signed by other clubs. So we want to make sure we get at least to the end of the pre-season tournament, so we know how much money we're going to have available to us. But at the same time, transfer for Vargas, that's going to be rejected. He's certainly staying. I'm not looking to replace my front 2 at this stage, to be completely honest. Sabi and Vargas are going to continue on as my front 2. But we are obviously going to be... I can put Lennon, or get Lennon involved in this next game. Let's put him onto the bench for Halliday. And then, actually, let's put him in for Bogle, as Bogle is injured currently. Or on his way back from injury, and we don't want him to risk getting further injury. We'll auto-replace, because Mitov, unfortunately, is out on international duty currently with Bulgaria. But we do have that young Hughes, who's the same rating as Mitov, as he might be 1 less now. I think Mitov grew by 1 higher than Hughes at the very end of last season. But Hughes is decent. He's 66 rated, so he'll be able to fill in quite comfortably for Dimitar Mitov. And Vargas gives us a 1-0 lead here just after half-time from the penalty spot, where they do equalise. I don't know how to pronounce. I just call them AIK. I don't know how to pronounce their name. Maybe they are called AIK. They're from Sweden, I believe. Although feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section, but I believe they're from Sweden. Transfer offer for Oscar Hill, again, rejecting all of the offers for my best youngsters, because obviously they're my best youngsters and I want them to play for the considerable future here at the club, and hopefully they'll be with us for quite a while. We shall continue to train everyone else though, if we possibly can, and hopefully they will continue to grow throughout the entirety of this season, to the point where I'd like everyone, if we are to get promoted this year, which I would very much like to happen obviously, transfer for Osadebe, which that's 40 grand above his valuation. I'll accept that straight away as well, thank you very much. Another offer for Hill. We will probably get quite a few offers for our youngsters, but by the end of this season they will be at championship quality. We just have to hope that we're able to get to the championship and they don't outgrow us. George Taft is gone. An offer for, wow, of £2 million for Jean-Michel Suarez Garcia, sorry. But he'll stay for now. He's not in my, like, he is a right mid, but I'd rather utilise him centrally or as a striker, because he's not rapid. He's quickish, but he's not rapid yet. But hopefully he will continue to grow and become fast. But at the minute, he's not quite at first team level. But he certainly can get there, so I'm not going to write him off too soon. Zwolle are from the Dutch league, I believe, the Eredivisie, so we'll wait and see how we get on against them. If we can just win one of the remaining 2 pre-season games, then we should be guaranteed progression through from the group stage and earn a little bit more potential prize money. There we go, 1-0 down here, thanks to Van Duynen. If there's any squad numbers you'd like me to update, then do let me know. Obviously, Hughes is currently down as my number 1, so perhaps I'll change that so that Mitov is my number 1, as Hughes is going to be my backup goalkeeper. If we could get an equaliser, that would be great. Unfortunately, we're not able to. AOK just lost 2-0 to the other team in our group, Fortuna Sittard, who beat Zwolle in the first game. So we have to win this next game and hope that... another offer for Garcia from Midtjylland. We have to win this last game and hope that the other teams in our group draw. Actually, no, because then we go out because Zwolle beat us. Release clause played for Leon Davis. Great. Well, it looks like all of the players we wanted to move on before the end, before I finished this episode and we got to the stage of you guys offering your suggestions, everyone we want to move on, looks like they're going to go, which is brilliant. Mitov still away on international duty, but yeah, they've won their 2 games so far. Win this and hope that the AIK beat Zwolle, and then we should be able to go through as second in the group. But we'll have to wait and see. AIK, if they draw or if we have failed to win, then we'll finish 3rd, I think, if we win this. But we are winning as we pass the hour mark. Zwolle have gone 3-1 up. We are going to be going out, unfortunately, at the group stage. But we should still get just over £1 million added to the transfer budget from this pre-season tournament. And obviously we've sold 3 players on now as well. Again, we'll have a quick train. Was it Edwards that was next? I've still got so many different presets set up for all of the various different players we've got at the club. It does appear that Mitov is back from his international duty now, as I could do the goalkeeping training drill there, which I wasn't able to do prior to that, and indeed he is back now. So Davis has been sold, that's good news. Prize money of just 484,000. That's particularly disappointing. Jev is disappointed that he's not getting his first team role, but to be fair, he hasn't been good enough and he doesn't deserve that first team role. So we have about £3,010,000 and still Giovanni Brown to potentially sell. As well as Jake Carroll and Edison Vega. So that will raise some money because he's on 7 grand there, so that's quite a chunk. And he's worth £500,000, as is Giovanni Brown. So let's advance at least until the end of July, so we know how much money you guys have got to spend, so you can kind of accurately gauge who would and would not be an available target for us in this 3rd season. I'm not sure about signing any pre-contracts for next year. I think I want to lean away from doing a number of pre-contracts because I don't want to take advantage of that functionality in the game. I'd rather take advantage of release clauses rather than pre-contracts. In other RTGs, I have been very heavily reliant upon pre-contracts, and I feel like it's felt cheap. So I'd rather not do that in this series. I'd rather we just bought our talent. Transfer offer for Brennan Dickinson. He's been good for me. He's 27 though. Now, we do have Uno now drafted into the starting lineup at left mid. So he's starting on the left-hand side of midfield. And of course, we do have Ziegler coming up as a youngster that could play on the left. And Suarez Garcia could play out wide. I think I'd rather wait until we got someone else in though to go on the right-hand side before we did anything with regards to anyone else. I don't want to thin the squad out too much to then fail to be able to bring anyone else in. So I will reject that for now, but I might be open to letting someone like Dickinson go if you guys would agree with the sale of someone like that. He is was one of my better players last year. Finally, a transfer offer for Giovanni Brown. Hopefully he can go, and that would raise another £500,000 or so. Fingers crossed that and the Jake Carroll deal will get done before the end of the month. And Jake Carroll has been sold there. Transfer offer for Bradley Halliday. I'm going to reject that. Obviously, we would still like to keep Bradley Halliday at the club for now. He would be a player that we would perhaps sell next season or potentially in July if we think we've got enough money to be able to get another deal done. We'll continue to train Sabi and Vargas, though I will have to be wary that I don't train players like Sabi and Uno too much, because obviously they might run the risk of outgrowing us and then trying to force a move, and I don't want that to happen. Giovanni Brown has been sold though, so that's good news. An offer for Matt Penny at left back, 1.35 million, but he's been growing superbly well, Matt Penny, since we signed him, so I do not want to move him on. He's still going to be my starting right back, and with Brooks Lennon being able to fill in on either side, then we should be okay. A transfer offer for Vega from Preston, that's good news. Let's accept that straight away as well. He's 30 years of age and unfortunately just aging out at the top end, so that should get done. Hopefully they certainly will be able to afford his wages. And the scout has returned, and he's come with Javier Meireles from Portugal, 59 rated currently, 80 to 94 potential at at CAM. So that could be a Giovanni Brown replacement already, but that's more of a CAM replacement. At present, I would very much like a central midfield, an out-and-out central midfielder. We've got defensive midfielders with Oscar Hill and Ewan Edwards. I'd like an all-round central midfielder to replace Howison in the starting 11. So we're looking for a central midfielder, a centre-back and a right mid to start off with. Once we've got those three deals done, then we can progress and see how much money we've got left. But Javier Meireles looks like he could be decent if he continues to grow well, to potentially come in and be backup for Vargas in that cam role. So what I might do is actually add him to a training module, and we'll get him trained sooner rather than later as well. So at present, we have £3.5 million available and about £12,500 in the wage budget. Add to that about another, say, £400,000 from the potential Vega deal, plus another £7,000 wage-wise. So we'll have, let's say, by the time I've fiddled with the budgets, about £4 million to spend and £15,000 available in the wage budget. I will go and have a look at free agents and see if there's anyone there that we can potentially have a look at, and I'll add those to the shortlist for the next episode. But bear in mind, I am going to want multiple signings, so we can basically afford to spend about £1 million to £1.5 million per player. And I want 3 positions filled: centre mid, centre back and right mid. So we've got a lot to do and not a massive amount of money to do it, but that's the challenge of a Road to Glory series. So we will start the league season tomorrow. We've Scunthorpe at home to start us off. Then we've Peterborough, our local rivals. So I'm definitely going to be playing those 2 games. Obviously the season opener, and then I certainly want to play Peterborough. And then we'll have to decide. I'm not fussed about the Carabao Cup again this year, so we'll probably play Oxford in the 3rd game, because Oxford-Cambridge is a bit of a rivalry because, of course, the universities. So, and the boat race. There's always been a bit of rivalry between Cambridge and Oxford. So we'll play Scunthorpe, Peterborough and Oxford tomorrow. Probably will do, or might only play 2 because it's the transfer window. I'm not sure. I might play 3. We'll wait and see. But we certainly will hopefully get a considerable amount of deals done in tomorrow's episode. We've already brought 1 player in Brooks Lennon. We're looking to add another 3 or 4 if we can. If we can stretch our finances that far, maybe pick up a free agent to the squad to try and fill it out. We do have those youngsters that we can call up if needs be. but none of them are really good enough to have a first team impact on the squad right now. So we are going to need to fill out, and Vega's going to leave soon as well, so we're certainly going to be very thin on the ground numbers wise. We could certainly do with the quality in the depth, because lacking that quality in depth when we had the injuries and the suspensions and the international issues last season is probably what cost us the league title in the end, not having the quality to come in and replace those that were missing. So hopefully we can find the quality, and you guys can help source the quality in the comment section. So do leave me your comments down below, but bear in mind we don't have much money to spend, about 4 million and about 15,000 in wages. We could lean towards loan deals, but I'd rather buy my talent if we can. But I'm open to negotiation on every front, basically. So drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel too so you don't miss out on tomorrow's episode. This was going live on Thursday, so there will be an achievement leave later on this evening as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that on the channel. Hopefully, we can have a successful season. If we're to keep our job, we certainly need to have a successful season because the board would like automatic promotion again. And that's going to be a challenge, but a challenge we will rise to. I'll see you tomorrow.